Hey, this is your girl, El Shaddai, with the news. As it happens, I popped on here so quick. I had just got done posting a video about Israel and Saudi Arabia joining forces and attacking an Iran base in Syria. This is even more serious. I'm going to pop up my window here really quick. Like I said, I did this so fast. I didn't even have my window capture on here, but as soon as this pops on, boy, I'm telling you, there is news like you have never thought, or maybe you did think. This is happening so fast. I'm telling you, I can barely keep up with it. I don't know if we have if we're on the brink of war. They don't always tell us the truth, so you got to sometimes wonder here, are they just telling us a little piece of this so nobody gets their choners in a bunch or freaked out? But you can see here, U.S. to deploy military forces to Saudi Arabia. The president, that went down really fast. The president has approved the deployment of U.S. forces, which will be defensive in nature. The U.S., and I repeat, the U.S. has deployed our military to Saudi Arabia.
I don't like where this is going.
This is big news, folks. Let's read into the article. The United States is deploying military forces to the Middle East after Saturday's drone attack on major oil sites in Saudi Arabia that administration of President Donald Trump has blamed on Iran.
Fatality.
The president has approved the deployment of U.S. forces, which will be defensive in nature and primarily focused on air and missile defense. U.S. Secretary of Defense Mark Esper said at a news conference Friday. That's today. Answering reporters' questions about deployment, Jen Joseph Dunford Jr., chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, that's a really long name, described the troop deployment as modest, not thousands.
No! God, please, no! No!
I don't think that's true. I think that they're keeping things from us. I don't think that, I really don't know what to say. We might be on the brink of war here. This is just crazy. Dunford said he planned to confer with the U.S. Central Command and Saudi officials to work out details of the deployment, which he said would be announced next week. Let's listen to this and see what they're saying. And it begins in 30 seconds, or is it going to play? I love how these things pause so much.
New Pronamel Intensive Enamel Repair. Why just brush to clean?
And then, of course,
you can brush in vital minerals to help actively repair acid-weakened enamel. So you don't just brush to clean, you brush to build. New Pronamel Repair.
Here we go.
If the U.S. launches a military strike on Iran, the Iranian foreign minister is promising, quote, all-out war. This is all, of course, over the attack on Saudi oil fields last weekend. Ali Arouzi is covering these latest developments from Qatar. And Ali, Iran has consistently denied it's responsible for those attacks. U.S. intelligence has indicated otherwise. We've heard the terms locked and loaded, all-out war. Where do things stand right now?
Well, Alison, it has been an extremely tense few days. Iran had been blamed for being behind these attacks. But interestingly, the Saudis stopped short of saying that those attacks were launched from Iranian soil. That would have put them across the brink. That would have been a huge statement for the Saudis to make. They would almost certainly would have had to have acted on that statement. If they didn't, it would have made them look very weak. What I think we're seeing today now is people taking a step back from the brink, taking a deep breath and reconsidering the situation, because if there was to be a shooting war between Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the United States, it would be calamitous, not only for America, but especially for Saudi Arabia and Iran. So they have now toned down the rhetoric a little bit, and we're seeing signs of that. Secretary Pompeo had said that he wants a peaceful resolution to this crisis. The Saudis have not said that these attacks came from Iranian soil as of yet. And today we have just seen that the Iranian foreign minister, after much back and forth, has been granted a visa to visit the United Nations General Assembly. He travels there tomorrow. So I think things have slightly calmed down for the time being, but it's so unpredictable between these countries. You never know what the next step is going to be.
All right, so I don't know. Let's go in reading a little bit more of this article. Esper said troops would be primarily focused on air and missile defenses. The United States will also accelerate shipment of military hardware to Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. The defense secretary said the troop deployment to those nations is happening as Iran has engaged in a significant escalation of violence in the region.
Oh my.
This is really big. I think we're basically on the brink of war. If not, it has already started and they're not telling us that. We are deploying our troops to Saudi Arabia. This is really, really huge.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
This is crazy. And I'm going to go ahead and stay on top of this. I'm going to keep you informed at every moment that things are happening. But I'm telling you,
a small price to pay for salvation.
We need to start praying. You need to open your Bibles. You need to read Revelations. You need to pay attention. Keep your eyes open. I'm going to help you as much as possible. This is your girl, El Shaddai, with the news as it happens. And it's happening very, very, very fast, folks. And you know what I'm going to say? I'm out.